Hey all, it's the Pedantic Skeptic here, and I do have a couple of quick things to say before I get to the main video. Um, I did pre-record some responses to some content that I will hopefully be uploading to the channel in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I can't guarantee I'll get through all of it by then because I've got so many other things going on. Um, just a heads up, I've been pretty sick with Giardia, which is an intestinal parasite that I picked up when I was hiking a couple of weeks ago. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I felt really good yesterday, but then I went hiking and got lost, so I ended up hiking like 4 extra miles, which really has today made me feel really, really bad. Um, I am basically pooping solid again, which is good. I'm working on rehydrating. It's very hard for me to get enough fluid in during the day as it is. Um, it's hard for me to take a moment to eat and drink. And with the Giardia infection, it's becoming important for me to eat and drink, but I feel really sick whenever I eat anything. And it's just I have to keep reminding myself to drink some water throughout the day so I can rehydrate. Um, but I am feeling better the past couple days than I was earlier uh, last week, and so I think I'm on the mend. So yeah, be careful when you're hiking. Bring water. Don't drink out of streams. Very bad idea. So anyway, aside from that, I do have a job that I will be going to. I'm working with a consulting company, so I'll be in West Bumblefuck, USA for most of the summer. So there may not be very many videos coming to the channel until like September, October ish. But I should be back. So anyway, I do want to make a quick video. Um, because there is a situation that apparently isn't unique to my circle of people. So long story short, I've been breeding firebelly toads for many years, and so I provided one of my friends here in Colorado with some tadpoles so her grandkids can watch the tadpoles. And her grandkids have a couple of friends in the neighborhood. One of those friends, and I'm not going to name names for obvious reasons, these are kids, and I'm not trying to get anybody harassed or anything like that. Um, these are my friend's grandkids are very young, and they have a friend who lives across the street. But because my friend and her grandkids aren't Christians, the the grandkids' friends' parents don't want the kid to like physically enter the property, and it makes it a little annoying because firebelly toad tadpoles don't like heat and they don't like a lot of light, and it's hot and sunny in Colorado because there's not a lot of tree cover. And so every time this kid wants to enjoy the tadpoles, we have to risk their lives carrying their tank out to the driveway of my friend's house, which is ridiculous. And what I'm getting at here is I don't have kids. But if I had kids, whether or not my kids' friends believed in God would be one at the bottom of my list of concerns I would have. Um, Give me a sec. I have to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm back. So, like, the thing is, you can't shelter your kids from people who don't have the same religious beliefs as you forever. And additionally, there are so many more pressing things you should be worrying about as far as who your kids are hanging out with than what they believe about God. There are people out there who are child molesters. There are people out there who are just irresponsible, people who have no idea of, like, what to do in a medical emergency, people who, just don't have the same ideas about, like, maybe you shouldn't give a 3-year-old a Red Bull, stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be sinister stuff. I don't have any sinister intentions towards children, but I'm not the best person to be around children because I don't have any qualms about a 5-year-old chugging a Red Bull. And, that's on me. That's a me problem. I admit it. But, whether or not the person around your child believes in God should not be your priority when it comes to who your children are hanging out with. I mean, sure, it's a nice plus if the person your kids are around believes the same things you do, but when push comes to shove, the human experience is about more than what people think about God. And, for me personally, right now, I have so many more pressing things to worry about than the God question. Like, I have, dozens of five-year-old toad tadpoles to take care of, and I've already had some problems along the way with them this year, and I've got to figure out where I'm going to donate my moths to because I won't be able to take them with me while I go on my job adventure in a couple of weeks. And I have to finish up orchid culturing, and I have some roaches to tend to, and I'm trying to recover from giardia, and a lot of other things are going on in my life right now where like the question of God is just not at the forefront of my mind. And what I'm getting at here is these kids of my friend, well, the grandkids of my friend, are getting a kick out of the tadpoles developing, and I want all children to experience nature and have an appreciation for the natural world, whether or not they believe that God is behind it or whatever. I don't really give a fuck at this point. I want people who are in awe of the development of a tadpole, a caterpillar, what have you. That's what I'm worried about, because that's what I value. Whether or not the kid believes in God is a different matter. And if you as a parent are so concerned about who your child is watching, like if you would rather some Christian have the tadpole and give your kid the tadpole to watch develop, then, would some Christian out in Loveland, Colorado come to me and say, can I have some tadpoles? Because I'll give you some fucking tadpoles. I don't care. I would rather the kids see these tadpoles develop and get to experience that part of an animal's life cycle and interact with the organism. And I don't care where they're getting it from. Hang on a second. And aside from the obvious problem of, so let's say I know a Christian in Colorado here who does a lot of herp stuff, snakes and frogs and blah, blah, blah. But what if that person's not the same Christian denomination as these whack-a-noodles that my friend lives near, and so that's not good enough for her? It's just, I don't know where the line ends, and I don't want to necessarily just exist to please everybody, but when it comes to something that I value, such as kids having appreciation for the natural world, if it really requires somebody who is of your particular Christian denomination to be the one presenting those organisms to that child, then have somebody from your church or your community come get some caterpillars, tadpoles, mantises, roaches, whatever from me before I leave, and then we'll be just fine. But I don't get why there's this huge emphasis on, well, if you're not a Christian like we are, our children can't even, be on your property because it's bad for our kids. I mean, people just need to get their value, those kids are not going to grow up with a well-rounded perspective on humanity and, the ability to deal with people who think differently than they do if this is the case. There are so many other things you should be worrying about when it comes to who your kids are dealing with and hanging out around than whether or not they believe in the same God as you.